Welcome back, everybody. Today's the day. We're going to take a look at my G.I. Joe Classified Collection display shelf. So in part one, last month, we broke down the Cobra factions that I have on my shelf, and everybody seemed to like that. So I thought today we'd take a look at the Joe side of my collection. This is the same display case. If you recall, I only have really one display case for my Joes. And so I take turns. Sometimes I have the Cobras, sometimes I've got the Joes. One of the things right off the bat is you can see that Spirit is, the eagle there. He is flying around, not Spirit. Spirit's eagle is flying around. He's got about a 12-inch radius that he can fly around on. And I thought that was kind of a cool way to display that particular accessory. And then each team, so up here is kind of an anti-poaching unit. So in the series of videos that I've been doing recently, I've showed you how to custom RIT dye the skin tones for different figures. And so here's a couple of figures that I've done. Like that's the leader of the anti-poaching unit, and he's a stalker figure. And he's just got that really, really dark skin from the RIT dye bath that I gave him. And everybody's sort of adorned with that campaign cover turned up to one side like Rakondo has. And that's kind of like their unit's signature cover. And again, I like to take figures that are peg warmers. Stalker, Tiger Force Dusty, Shipwreck, Rock and Roll, and particularly Lady J. And I like to take those and try to turn what other people would reject. I try to turn into something unique and make it my own. So hopefully as you go through, I'll try to point out some of those and show you what I've done with them. So right off the bat, you can see up here, I've taken advantage of the Stalker figure and Tiger Force Dusty. I've mixed and matched some of the parts, and I've made my own unit with them. So that's an anti-poaching unit. And again, there are really no loadouts other than just a sidearm. In part two, I'll load out the figures, I'll arm them, and we'll break those down as well. But on this shelf, you can see I've taken advantage of some rock and roll peg warmers in my area, some more Stalker, the Ranger, and I have adorned them with flint berets, and they are kind of their own unit, and I really like that. Again, they have a sidearm either on their thigh or, all of these have sidearms on their right thigh, and that kind of makes them look semi-uniform in nature. The beret, the cover, sort of signifies that they're a unit or a team. I really like the stripped down look. I know a lot of people love to adorn their Joes with all of the weapons and all of the accessories, but for me, I kind of like it the opposite. I like them at attention or parade rest, and I kind of like that look. But again, in part two, we'll load them out. And then down here's the Badass Bitch Brigade, the Triple Bs. And I featured them on a customs thing, but take a look at each one here. I mean, there's a classic Lady J, and then here is Scarlet with some RIT dyed fatigues. Each one of them has the helmet. I thought that would look kind of cool, like they're part of a special not an iron brigade, the steel brigade rather. There's another one with a custom hat, and again, RIT dyed pants, and she also has more of a Latina look to her. That is different color skin than Scarlet's. And then we just have a basic grunt female, which I thought kind of looked cool, with just a helmet, sort of just a kit bash there. Then we have the dark African American skin. I really love that one. I think she looks really awesome. We have an Asian with a little bit lighter skin, and then sort of just like 5 seconds in the RIT dye, just to sort of bring out some highlights. There's my wife. So there you go. So that, again, that's the Badass Bitch Brigade, and I have done my part, you might say, to get rid of some of these peg warmers off the shelves and turn them into my own. Now here's one of my favorite shelves, and this is the Navy forces, Coast Guard forces of the Joes. So here we have a boarding team, we have gun crews, we've got Shipwreck. I just sort of customized that, his grappling hook there. And so those are some Navy guys in their classic 80s, early 90s dungarees. And I also have this Coast Guard C-130 on the rotating base, just as a nod to my old service days. We used to fly around on those. And I've got the divers, rescue swimmers, SEALs, any underwater demolitions type of people. There's 3 torpedoes, 2 of which I've customized with RIT-dyed faces, just different colors, skin hues. I also, just in case anybody's wondering, I took a small piece of rope and sort of tied them together, tied the flippers together so that you can kind of make that as a display. But I like them rotating around like that. That's one of my favorite figures. And I'd like to get a couple more and maybe do a display with that as well. And then down here, here's my version of Tiger Force. So everybody has the Tiger Force beret on. Everybody has a strip down. They have a sidearm at their hip, and they're just in sort of basic green fatigues. I used some of those stalker figures that were on Amazon for like $9. I bought a whole bunch of them, and I turned them into my own unit. And then I just sort of part swapped. There's a Tiger Force Dusty. I thought he looks kind of cool. All the berets kind of unify them, and I thought that made for kind of a cool look. And again, that's my version of Tiger Force. Granted, it's entirely different, but hey, it's my collection. I figured I'd kind of make it my own, you know. And then down here, I've got Spirit with the Tiger Force cycle, and of course, Spirit is watching, of course, the eagle flying around up there. So I thought that was kind of an interesting display option. And then down here is a recent custom I've done of yet another Outback. I've done several Outbacks. This one is part of an adventure team, the classic G.I. Joe adventure team that I knew about when I was a kid before A Real American Hero. And I wanted to honor those Joe days with an adventure team shirt. So I took an Outback with the white shirt that said Survival, and I removed that and I added the deco of the adventure team with some really nice high quality decals. I put them in some dungarees. I made I fashioned this spear out of just a simple G.I. Joe knife, and I whittled down a stick and made it kind of like a cool survivalist type of thing. And I did a custom backpack, just a couple of pieces and parts, and that backpack is actually removable with a very small screw. I set the screw into almost like a little molly, and then so he can have the webbing or he can just have the backpack on. The flashlight is removable, and just some things. I just had some fun with it, but I really like that figure, so I thought I'd put him on a rotating base and maybe put him as part of the Spirit sort of recon survivalist type of vibe that I wanted to portray. So again, here's one final look at it, and hope you like it. You know, again, I don't think a lot of people quite have a display quite like this. I think so many people are always trying to track down the latest, greatest figures and paying a ton of money for them and all of that, and I totally get that. I just try to collect a little bit differently. I try to make it a little bit more unique, and I try to make it a little bit more my own. And I really like the anti-poaching unit that I've got going on, and I thought that was kind of fun. Like I said, a fun way to use up some peg warmers. And let me know what you think about the eagle flying around. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know, is it super cheesy, or is it cool? Let me know. And as always, thank you so much for looking. I really appreciate the support. I hope it was worth the wait. Maybe it gives you a couple of ideas. And stay tuned for part 2 where we load out some of these other characters. Thanks so much.